Check. 1 2 1 2. Vader Games in the building. You know what it is. First things first, my peoples come first. My people, those that are here, no longer here, always thought of and remembered. It's been a minute. Listen, everybody, appreciate reaching out, making sure everything's good. The last show was CIA Intelligent Agendas. There was a snowstorm happening, madness in Toronto. I had to cut the show short to go help out a neighbor that got stuck in the snow. But listen, all's calm. And since then, also celebrated my beautiful little princess's birthday. So things were a little hectic. But I'm here. And I'm here to address everything right here on the screen and more. All right? I'm here to address that and more. It's been a wild week, wild 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So there's going to be a lot to cover. I do this every show, and I got to shout out the very first person in the building that was like in here early, in here being like, Vader, I got you. I'm here with the like. I'm here with the subscribe. I'm here with the comment. First in the building, got to show love. Listen, Slice in the building, just a simple hi. I see you. Good looking out. I see the Abby. Okay in the building, big up Vader. You know what it is. Slice also goes also Vader. If you don't know, which I did not know, thanks for this information. There are rumors of Unai Emery to Madrid. He's a good manager. He's a good manager, despite all the things that get talked about. Despite all the things that kind of get said with some of his, I guess, domestic failures. He's a good manager, and he's doing the damn thing. He's competing in this league right now, and he's won his fair share of European trophies. Trevor in the building, big up Vader, long time. It has been, but all's good. Hope everything is good with each and every one of you in the comments, not only individually, but amongst your family, amongst your friends. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm gonna star these comments, but I gotta address for people that aren't familiar. I'm going to be spending 5 minutes per topic, roughly. Obviously, there's some interaction. There's going to be comments going back and forth with you. But I'm going to go through these topics right here. And I'm going to address a few things. All right. So the title of this show, this happens to be Why Always Me, by the way. Why Always Me, episode 131. We've been doing it. 131. And a few things that I wanted to bring to light. All right. You see this player on screen right here. You see the manager. You see another example on how Manchester City need to remember that they don't want City at the table. They don't want City to be here. They never did, right? They never wanted City to be here. And we've got a constant reminder, and I need the City fans to really understand. I need the players to know we ain't getting no benefit of the doubt. None. We got to remember that it's us against everyone else. All right? The series of challenges that we're facing in the league as well as off the pitch. Look. This denial of Guehi to be able to play for Manchester City in a final, and what are they all going to tell you? They're all going to tell you, oh, he wasn't able to be registered at the time of the semifinal first leg. Therefore, he cannot play for the remainder of the tournament if you happen to qualify on. Okay, I accept the rule. I accept the rule. Okay, it's always been the rule. It's flawed to me in terms of a deadline and the deadline not quite affecting, or the deadline being the deadline being later than the first leg. So maybe there should be some lenience, maybe not. I'm okay with it, but I often ask this. All right, my life experience is different for everyone else. Take a second. Does the rule make sense? The spirit of the rule, the intention of the rule, of the law. Does it still make sense today? Right? That's the question I'm posing. I got no problems with the denial of Marc Guehi being able to play. All right? I got no problems with it. There's no exception to it. Would you expect an exception for Manchester City? No. So we can put in the gas, but to get an exception for us, hell no. All right? That is why I want to remind Manchester City fans, remember, they don't want us here. We just saw a CEO from the Prem saying they would like to engrave a different team on the trophy every 6 years. We don't help. We haven't helped with that type of strategy or that type of approach. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to talk about it. But listen, get locked in. Know that all this is going to get discussed. For those of you maybe listening, not watching, right? I know some of you got it playing on your phone. You got the phone in your pocket. You just happen to be listening. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. Take a second, though. Take a second. Take the phone out. Take a second. Hit the like button. All right, continue to do that. I'm not looking at the likes like that. Like, I don't have it open, and I'm not going to remind you constantly. But listen, it's a sign of respect. You come into my house, you take off your shoes. Taking off your shoes is hitting that like button. Simple. All right? Now, I'm going to be discussing Pep, his 400 wins. Well, it's actually more than that because he's won since. But Pep's fastest, quickest to get to 400 wins. What he's done in the decade. We're going to discuss that, right? Also, and if some wonder, Vader, why do you only spending 5 minutes with regards to some of these topics? Because listen, I'm not going to have this conversation once. I like to kind of touch on it. We discuss it, and then, oh, there's something else that kind of came to mind. We're going to talk about it on another show. This era of, oh, it was discussed Tuesday, we're not going to discuss it moving forward. Nah. Not on this show. We're going to have some fun conversations, all right? I also have to discuss, and I just mentioned, I teased it, they want a different winner. We know that. And we hear it. Like, it's not uncommon. It's kind of like human nature, right? Unless it's your club where you want to see your club continuously winning. When you've seen it, again, the same effect that we have, that we're experiencing, obviously United had to experience this. And we can easily remember where it's, there was a time where we probably liked Arsenal. We were like, Arsenal, do your thing, because United were winning so much. That's the energy that Arsenal are actually getting because of what City's been doing so much, right? Arsenal are again that club to be like, go out and win. We're tired of seeing that Manchester club keep winning. It was the red side. It's the blue side. We're tired of that. Arsenal, go out and win. That's the energy that we're facing. I'm going to discuss that they want new winners, all right? Also, the 6 points. The 6 points we got to discuss. Could be 9, could be less. We'll have to discuss that. The Liverpool at Anfield game, obviously I'm going to do a little brief preview. It's Thursday. We're going to get into that a lot more. And obviously, maybe actually, no, I realized where I was going to go with this. And to then discuss, would potentially, after that Liverpool game, is 8 points, 9 points, is that too much? Is that where you, City fans, call it quits? Is that where you, rivals, say, you know what, 9 points to Arsenal, you ain't coming back from that? Is that where we're going to draw the line? And I want to talk about, because as we discussed the 9 points, 8 points, I want to discuss this Arteta's Arsenal. I think I can confidently say, and I'll get into it, on how their approach will be to close out the season. So please stick around, know where this show's going, hit the like button if you haven't. I see what my people in the building with the comments, and let me touch on the comments before I go full show. Let me see where we at. Slice goes to say, do you think I do? Slice, I think Carrick's United I think they'll be good this season. I do. I think they'll be, or should I say they'll be good enough where they're in Europe and they're in that mix to fight for it. I really do. D in the building, you know what it is. Can you address You know what? I don't talk Chelsea too much, not because I got beef with Chelsea. But they're in such a flux. I can't really put too much on this manager. He just new. He's new to the club. He's got to deal with a lot of things that he's got to overcome a lot of things just on how Chelsea are kind of designed, set up right now. I, I can't really kill it on him too much, especially again for him taking the approach to keeping it late in the game to then go on to win. I don't know if I really label it too much as cowardice. Was the strategy off? Were the tactics off? Yes, but I can't label it as being a coward. Okay, in the billing. The best thing about Newcastle game was not just going into the final, but also to see players pressing the opponent in a structured way. Yeah, it was good. It was a very consistent, I think, defensive approach that we've shown. There is a difference in terms of the player personnel and the tenacity and the urgency that we see in the pressing. Can we see that with different personnel? I think so, but it was a good game. I agree with you. Okay, Spartacus. Evening, lads. Emery won't work at Madrid. Now I'm gonna take Spartacus' point of view. I'm gonna take his word on this one. He is a big disciplinary. That is true. He does want things his way. He's pretty set. Follow this structure. I kind of hear it. There's a lot of player FC over at Madrid. The balance ain't right over there. To play better without Rodri currently. Currently, not forever, but currently, yeah. And again, the patience with regards to Rodri, I'm gonna have my patience for Rodri's long. I saw, and again, different position, but I saw the return from Van Dijk. Van Dijk's return wasn't like consistent, right? Rodri obviously never really had the foot speed to begin with, but we know that there's a game fitness that he's still looking to achieve. And this is where Pep's got to manage it to be like, I see where the personnel opponent midfield and how aggressive or how willing to run they are, and if it doesn't match up, then we got to protect Rodri. Maybe that's him coming off, maybe that's him being partnered with someone that's going to be able to deal with that running. But we'll get there. I got confidence in that. It's been a minute. How am I looking? It's been a minute. My gal is in the building. Rose is in the building. She goes, Vader, I miss you. Rose, I miss you too. I hope you're well. I hope everything's good with you and the fam. I just happened to bump into your stream. I trust you and the family are okay regarding the snowstorm. We're all right. The snowstorm was crazy. Now, I enjoyed it to a certain standpoint because when you have things like that, it brings the community together. Like it brings people discussing and kind of like more socializing. Because when it's cold, like winter, people tend to isolate. People are like in and out the car, in the house. Like so, it was nice to see people together. But everyone's good. And like I said earlier in the show, a little bit of the hiatus was making sure that my little princess had the birthday that she wanted. So we're all good. Spartacus, if there is a rule, then there is a rule. It's the same to everyone. Do I like it? No. But that's and this is where I'm at. I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with this. I just want to also emphasize, it's another example where to emphasize that there aren't going to be exceptions made for Manchester City. A rule that many, like Spartacus, and listen, I'm in a group chat with my American waffle people, rivals, right? One rival says a rule's a rules, and I was like, okay, I got no issue there. Doesn't agree. He himself does not agree with the rule as well. So when there's a rule that many don't agree with, doesn't quite make sense. We know that it's in place. But the rule doesn't make sense. Now, here's the thing. They must change the rule prior to the season starting, because best believe if there's an amendment, if there's a correction, and it happens to be mid-season, and it happens to favor a club non-city, I got issue with. I'm gonna have issue with. We've seen rules put in place, mind you. This rule in particular, we can see the flaw in it. And again, from a player standpoint, okay? This player wants to play, right? This player wants to compete, wants to contribute to his team. he is denied that. And rules are rules. Rules are rules. I also don't believe that if he were to play, because again, you can't spite your nose. What was it? You can't spite your nose to whatever, or whatever the saying is. You can't do something to jeopardize yourself down the road. I think in the whole totality of football, especially with regards to the English league, right? If you want movement, right? Movement with regards to the transfer window is good for business. It's good for business, right? We can't deny that. Everybody in the chat, we can't deny that the transfer window, the January transfer window is good for business. There should be an incentive, or there should be an understanding. There should be a holistic view to not put a rule to maybe stipend, to maybe cause issue, cause hesitation with regards to the January transfer window. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to want that movement, you're going to want teams to you're going to want teams to be able to strengthen. You're going to want to be able to make your league better. The mobility with regards to the January transfer window then shouldn't also impact with regards to competition. I think the FA Cup rule is a poor one as well. If you've played for one team in the FA Cup competition, you then cannot play for another one. I think that's bad for transfer business. I really do. I think that's bad for transfer business. But we'll talk more about it. Let me put a star real quick and let me get into the show. My gal in the building. All right. Let's see. It's been a minute. I've kind of been out of practice, but let's go. Clock started, and we're going to do this. Vader games. So, Pep and what he's done. Maybe I should actually take this image off screen. Pep and what he's done in his time at Manchester City. Vader games. We've been spoiled, people. We've been spoiled, and I don't want us to remain that way. I don't want us City fans to think that this is normal. What he's delivered for us has been incredible. I get it. There's some that have been happy with what he's done in the past and don't believe that he will do what he's done in the future. It is what it is. But when you have a manager like Pep who's done this better than past greats, okay? Better than past greats. Any rivals in the chat? He's done it better than Arsene Wenger. He's done it better than Jurgen Klopp. Klopp never got to 400 wins. This is wiles me, so I almost went on my CIA mode. I'm not doing my CIA mode, but Pep has done it faster than Sir Alex Ferguson. He's done it the fastest, and that can't be ignored. It can't be downplayed. It can't be downplayed. And I also want to emphasize this. That level of thinking, that serial, consistent winner type mode, it doesn't just turn off. The experience, the wisdom, the ability to be that good does not just turn off like that. And I want City fans to be a little more patient, to know that there's still more winning available for this manager. Let me go back for a sec, please. Not to do the back in the day talk, but there's really only been one manager that's been able to win like this in the Prem era. All right, yes, there are different eras. The English league's been around for over 100 years, but even when you talk about winning in this Prem era with the level of competition, other clubs being able to spend big, there's only been one manager able to do it. Sir Alex Ferguson was a consistent, constant winner, right? The only other manager to do that is Pep, and the only other manager in Pep also did it faster than what is kind of like the standard, what is the North Star, what has been like the milestone. Sir Alex Ferguson is it when you look at managers that have done it. Pep did it faster than him. Pep's only thing, and again, Pep's only thing that's considering it a debate, and it's a debate for a few reasons, because I don't think eras should actually be compared that way. United fans are incredibly threatened with what Pep has done, right? United fans in particular, the ones that are on this YouTube platform, will do as much as they can to kind of make sure to point out the things that Pep happened to get wrong in this era, to try and make sure that they don't have that comparison between, and I don't think the comparison should be made, but United fans are threatened by Pep. With him doing this faster than Sir Alex Ferguson, the standard, speaks to, if it were just to be longevity, if Pep were to get the support of this Manchester City fan base, if it were to be like, Pep, let's go another 5 years, all right? We're going to give you what you need to be successful. We know that things that you probably did in your younger years, you can't do. You're going to need an assistant manager here. You're going to need someone in personnel here. But from a coaching standpoint, from a delivering tactics and making the right players do what they got to do, no one should be trusted more than Pep. I think he has made us City fans and even rivals look at Manchester City and the constant winning and being like, oh, you guys have fallen off. This season, look how we're competing now. Even obviously look at last season. But to have that drop off and be like, City are done because it's not to the standard that he set is crazy. The back in the day, the winning with Mancini, oh, amazing. And even the year prior to win the FA Cup, amazing. I'm not gassing this. Winning the FA Cup and then winning the Prem was like, I was good. I was good. Let's go. I'm good. I got things to just brag about, talk about. To then get the League Cup and the Prem, the double, by the way, in his rookie season with Pellegrini, I was like, oh damn. Oh, what possibilities might this lead to? And then just shattering the mold, doing, honestly, the impossible. Pep and the number of trophies that we've won, the style. And let me also say this, please, before I move on to the next topic. Let me say this. It's not only the trophies that were won. Okay? The trophies are obviously, that's the currency. We're told all the time it's about trophies. It's about the hardware, right? It's about showing those armpits. But we were also doing that with beautiful football. Oh, it was some of the best. It's the nature of the game. Like, some do the job. Some get the job done, right? We can all, let's personalize this. We can all get the job done, get things done. But then when you come across someone that does it, and they take like a craft approach to it, like a mastery, like an artistry. We were getting artistry type football and winning trophies at the same time. Like, Pep, this decade, thank you. I don't think you're done. I think there's still more out there. Can you do it like you did it before, and maybe being that sole engine? Do you need some assistance? I think so, but thank you for this decade. Fastest to 400. We need to speak about this a lot more, and I will on future shows. Let me move this on. I needed that. It's been a minute, and there's too much, in my opinion. There's too much crying. There's too much crying in this world. Too many whiners. So let me do my part. Vader games. I'm gonna catch up with those comments. Good looking out. We got the Q&A. Let me get into this one. So, can I find this? Let me try to find this on my thing, because I don't know if this was making its rounds for you guys, but there was. I'm gonna put this on screen. Let me pause it. Hopefully this shows up well. All right, it does. Vader games. So, there was an interview There was a volunteering of information. I'm going to put this on screen. I'm going to play it. This happens to be an important member of the Prem. All right. Listen to what they have to say. Let me know if you guys can hear the comments. Let me know if you guys can hear the comments. Let me do this. Let me play this for you.
Without being disrespectful to any club, we have a strategic plan at the Premier League, and the strategic plan says put a new name on the trophy in every 6-year period. And that is nothing to, that doesn't mean to say we don't want any team to win it. It just means we would rather see some sort of rotation. So
y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard that? Do I need to play that again? Were you guys able to hear that? Let me know in the comments. What was that? My people, what the heck? Hopefully, let me know if you guys are all here. I don't know what happened. Everything just shut down. It's saying that I'm still live. I have no idea what my system just shut down on me. I'm talking about the Prem and the system just shut down on me. It's crazy. I gotta watch what I say. This is wild. You know what? I'm gonna have to go and I'm gonna have to renew my VPN. Maybe I gotta do that. Something shady just happened there. But we're back. Hopefully, let me know if you hear everything cleanly in the comments. Let me know. Let me know if the visuals are still good. I was mid-sentence. I was talking about how they want different winners, and then the system just shut. When I say shut down, those of you working on PCs, everything shut down. So I got my work on this screen over here that I'm glancing to every once in a while, but that shut down obviously the stream. Can you guys even hear my sound? I mean, you guys probably don't really care about this sad story that I'm about to say, but I'm talking mid-sentence about the Prem, and the Prem shut me down. It's crazy. I thought I was hacked. All right, let me make sure that's good. Okay, no echoes, right? You guys were able to hear what I was saying. But we're back. Listen, we're all good. Okay. Let me try to pick things back up. It's crazy. Let people know that we're back live. Catch them. What was that? What was that? It's crazy. They're after me. When you speak the truth, they're after you. When you take a second, you break things down. Listen, catch them. You're having a phenomenal season. You're well deserving of where you are. Top of the Prem, top of the UCL. Well deserving. Made the final to the League Cup. But at the same time, if I speak about the energies, if I speak about things that I'm seeing, they don't want City in the mix. And I just got reminded in real time. I got reminded that they don't want Manchester City. They don't want me here. They don't want me on this platform and again, they don't want me on this platform talking the way I'm talking, because if you really think about it, there's a reason why. You need the Mancunian waves. You need the true City fans. You need the LBs. You need the Daps. You need the Big Steves. What I'm realizing is, I don't know if those guys get shut down. I don't know if what they say is getting shut down like this, right? The fact that I'm bringing you Why Always Me when I bring you CIA, I don't think they're shutting down those shows. They're shutting this down. The truth is getting too close. Catch them. The truth is getting too close. I agree. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if the Arsenal army, because they're online heavy. I don't know if they were able to do something to kind of get things shut down midway. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm just glad I'm back. Now, I'm not gonna speak. I'm gun shy now. I'm not gonna bring up that vid clip. All right. I'm not gonna bring up that vid clip. Whatever, and I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna go back and edit and obviously cut out the blank portion of the show. But I was mid speech talking about how they do want to engrave a different winner every 6 years. Obviously, what City's done goes against that type of strategy. Now, if you have that strategy in place, what are your tactics? Right? Let me okay, I got to be careful here because I don't want to get shut down. When you have a strategy, you then implement tactics, approach, like procedures with regards to achieving or working towards said strategy, right? So if there is a strategy for new winners every 6 years type thing, what are you putting in place to facilitate that? And obviously what you put into place, just logically speaking, I got to be careful with what I say here. Just logically speaking, if you do want a different winner every every so often, and you're not getting a winner every so often, does that then mean that the club that is able to be persistently winning is doing so despite, I gotta be careful with how I say that, doing so despite procedures and tactics that are trying to prevent it? I think that's safe. I don't think they'll shut me down for saying that. Yeah, hopefully I'm calm. I'm cool here. Rose, that is for real. What was said is for real. Now, there's going to be some more investigating because that thing can't go out there. And the funny thing is that came out, that came out after Rodri obviously had his max frustration for what he saw in that game that denied that denied the foul, that looked the other way with regards to the Spurs scoring their first goal, right? That was said after Rodri just losing it, and then we see something like that come out. Teal in the building. Big up, Vader. Hope we get both Tonelli and Anderson. Listen, Teal, we got some moves. Funny enough, when we're going to do transfer talk's going to have to happen on another show. I didn't include that in the topics. Maybe Q&A if we get there. But the reason why I say that is a lot of us are going to be shopping for the same thing. This league and where it's going, obviously, it's a very physically pace-driven, obviously technical ability, but very pace-driven. There's a physicality needed in that midfield. A lot of us are going to be shopping for the same player ingredients, right? I'm seeing rumors of United being interested in the Andersons and Tonali's as well. So there's going to be a lot going down. I will say this. If any player is kind of doing the United, City, if any player has that hesitancy, I don't want him. If you are contemplating, do I go to City or do I go to United? I don't want that player. Get him out of here. Your decision needs to be instantaneous. You have the option of going to City. If you say, yeah, I'm there, cool. If you're like, I don't know, I don't want you. I really don't want you. Good looking out. Let me keep this moving because I think this topic is going to be on point, and I shouldn't get shut down for this one. Let me start the clock. Actually, how do I do that? All right, here we go. Appreciate to all of you coming through. It was an unexpected shutdown, but we're back. We're live. We're 6 points off. We're 6 points off this Arsenal title favorites. I know it's difficult. I know it's frustrating when you think of the games that we've lost this season, when you think of the games where we've dropped points. It's frustrating because the gap shouldn't be 6, right? Many would argue that we should be a lot closer to Arsenal, but the gap is 6. I want to say this to some that are incredibly frustrated with City. You can see how the player and the manager have made their mistakes throughout the season, right? And obviously, the stats going around, we are the poorest team when it comes down to second half performances, conceding goals and sustaining the good play from the first half. I think that falls on some decisions, whether it's making subs, getting on some fresh legs, whether it's Pep also saying, hey, let's not be as aggressive attacking wise. That's resulting in us being vulnerable in defense. But there's certain things obviously the manager can tweak. But there's also clear signs on how these players are dropping a level in the second half, not matching the intensity that they're facing from teams that obviously we can't ignore this. I know it's a quick to be forgotten type society right now, but we're a major game for everybody. To say you forced or you got City to drop points, you got to win versus City, whether it's home and away, that's a big thing, right? That's where we've been able to get to because of the series of winning and the 400 wins that Pep was able to do. Like that there's a consequence there. We're not matching how intense and how aggressive teams want to catch us off. They want to catch results. They want to do that versus us. We're not matching that. And I think it's also the players that we've gotten, again, realizing that there is no off game. There's no off minute. There's no, oh, we're 2 goals up, 3 goals up. These teams are going to be like, we'll wait till next week. We ain't there anymore. Wes, I see you in the building. Good looking out. I think the 6 points off title favorites isn't the end of the world. I know I kind of keep kicking that can down the road because there's still more games to play. What game week are we in actually? Let me do that real quick. This is where I get from just looking at a game by game to not even taking account to what week we're in and how many games have been played. So there's been 24 games played. It's a 38 week season. So we got 14 left, right? I did the math. Yeah, we got 14 left. 9 points potential, but currently 6 points, 14 games left to play. It's not that bad. Am I delusional? Am I crazy to say that? 6 points, 14 games left to play. One of those games we play versus Arsenal. I know we're not looking consistent. We're not. But 6 points to title favorites that look to be the best in Europe. And for how inconsistent we've been, it's not that bad. I think we need to fix up 100%. I think we can't continue to do the inconsistent play that we've had. We can't have these second halves that we're having. But you know what that's telling me? It's telling me that we're capable of scoring. But again, a reminder, how we are defensively needs work. And defensive isn't just the back four. Defensive is, in my humble opinion, I think defensive is really with regards to the midfield. The midfield need to lock in. The midfield need to see when the ops are... I see it often where the ops are just looking to run past, like a Rodri. They're looking to run past a Nico Gonzalez. They're looking to run past whoever also happens to be in an attacking position in the midfield, whether it's a Foden or a Reinders. That's where we need to fix up. But 6 points isn't that crazy, especially for how poor we've been. So I'm gonna say we are actually lucky. We're fortunate to be 6 point off, as poor as we are with this Arsenal team. 6 points, we're actually pretty fortunate. To go back, and again, this is what City fans will do. The rivals in the chat, you guys are gonna like, oh, you're gonna look at this as maybe copium, or obviously you guys do this in your own regard with regards to your own team. But when you put things into context, oh, here's why we dropped points. Here's how we had poor second halves. One thing gets thrown in City fans all the time is like, oh, City can't even hold on to leads that they have. Look at what they did in that Fulham game. I also bring in the context where, and again, this is why I have a little more patience than some. I also recognize that in that game, Pep saying, you know what, we're leading 5-1 right now. We're leading 5-1. Let me rest Nico Gonzalez because I don't have anyone else to really play in this 6 at the time, right? He hadn't built up that confidence or that trust and ability with regards to Nico O'Reilly yet. He wasn't able to really maybe lean on and say that Rodri was going to be back, be able to play in rotation. So him to take off Nico G, right, and say, listen, we're 5-1 up. I'm gonna rest you. And then we surrendered those goals. It's like learnings like those where I don't obviously we haven't mirrored that again. But I think 6 points off of title favorites Arsenal is actually pretty calm. It's pretty calm. Let me go to the comments real quick. I see Ketchup in the building. Actually, those two are having comments. Teal goes, 6 points for this current City team is a mountain to climb. Way too inconsistent. It's 2 games. It's 2 games. It's not a mountain. And the same way you want to kind of point out this current City team and maybe from a faith, like just having faith in it standpoint, is we do it for 45 minutes, but the 90 is where the issue, the inconsistency that you're talking about is really for the entire game. But I think we can fix that up. And again, I know we can't benefit of it because of the rule with regards to Guehi, but Guehi's availability defensively, I think, also helps us where we were pretty inconsistent with our defense with him. I think we're okay. Ketchum goes, even in that season, you are not clear of anything for most of the season. I'm not sure what you're referencing there. Ash, the tough ones are Leeds away, Chelsea away, Liverpool away, and Arsenal/Fulham at home. Yeah. We're going to have difficult games to try and make this a title-winning season, 100%. I'm not writing off. I don't know. And again, Q&A portion, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask everybody in the chat. As of today, have you given up on the season? I'm gonna ask that. You know, I don't want answers now. Don't flood the comments now. But I'm gonna ask that because I want to see where the people are at. See where the soldiers are at. Our next manager, whoever that may be, must play this suicide football. This high line is useless. All right, we're gonna have a contextual conversation with regards to why the high line is implemented. Why it's used. We have to have that. We're going to have to discuss what might be the reason why Pep plays the high line. All right. I'm not going to do this on this show, but we're going to have to discuss this. Wes goes, bro, the title is... I couldn't even finish that sentence. We need to focus on the problem is Rodri will always be played in major games, and that's our Achilles. Oh my gosh. Our Ballon d'Or players are Achilles heel. My gal goes, Vader, how disgusting if that's what they're doing. They're good for business is different winners. You can think it, you can't say it. That's what I would say. You can think it, you just can't say it. And we got to remember that as City fans, they don't want us here. All right, let me move this along. Let me start this comment. Thank you, my gal. All of you in the chat with the comments. Let me move this along. This one, oh my gosh. I think, I got to keep this flowing because I'm just seeing something coming through on the work. All right, let's go. Now, Liverpool at Anfield. Oh, damn it. Liverpool at Anfield. Everybody in the chat. Though, if there happens to be a Liverpool fan in the chat, how healthy are Liverpool right now? I'm just asking the question. How healthy are Liverpool right now? Okay, we're doing our absolute best to make this a title fighting season. Everyone else is giving up. Liverpool fans are kind of giving up. It's not our year. They're battling for top four. They're going to focus on UCL. Like Wes just mentioned to me, we need to focus on the UCL. But Liverpool fans are already doing that. To write off the season with 14 games left and being like, Arsenal, it's yours. I can't do it. Can't do that. But this game versus Liverpool, we've had better teams. We've been more consistent. We've been in better form. Going to Liverpool and not getting a win. We've gotten draws. We've gotten losses, but we've also gotten draws. Better teams have gone to this Liverpool and gotten the draws. Better teams have gone to this Liverpool, and Liverpool have been worse, and we took an L. My biggest frustration, I did a thumbnail, right? I did a thumbnail. I hate that it's out there. But I did a thumbnail where I kind of did like a boxing posture type thing. And I was like, we're going to welcome was it at Liverpool? I did something like we're going to show Liverpool city hospitality or vice versa. But I was so confident with the form that we were in versus that Liverpool. And we still couldn't get a result. I think this might be one of those where things are so much in Liverpool's favor, so much is in Arsenal's favor, that is this one of those janky, crazy, not supposed to happen type games. From a footballing standpoint, I'm gonna discuss it in very detail on why I think we can hurt Liverpool, right? We can hurt Liverpool. When we think of our attack, we can hurt Liverpool. When we think of what Shirky can do in terms of being in the pockets, even Foden in his terrible form, when we think of where Liverpool might be vulnerable, we can get a result. I want to remind everybody in the chat, obviously it was at home where we got the result. And we have a manager that many want to say, oh, he's past it. He doesn't know how to think differently. He's got the same approach. But this manager said, listen, Konate, you got the ball. You got it. Holland, he ain't pressing you. We're going to shadow coverage. Van Dijk, he ain't getting the ball. Everything's going to happen on that side of the pitch. What's going to happen on the other side? Nah, you ain't getting that. Does Pep do something similar? Can we say, Liverpool, you have the ball, and we look to choke out, figuratively speaking, Van Dijk when on the ball, or Verts, or Szoboszlai? I'm most concerned in this game from a midfield standpoint. I think the legs with regards to those two players that I mentioned, Verts and Szoboszlai, even Gravenberch, can be an issue for us. But then when we think of what we might be doing, especially on the wing standpoint, but if we're going to do anything on the wing, we're going to have to be very transitional. We're going to have to be very direct. As we get closer to the game, I'm going to discuss where I can kind of predict where we're going to be, starting 11 versus theirs, available players, all that kind of stuff. But I'm kind of optimistic with this game. I'm kind of optimistic with this game because everything's pointing to us losing. Everything. Maybe I'm being contrarian. Is that what I'm being? I'm being contrarian. Everything's pointing to City losing this game. Everything is saying, you know what? We're inconsistent. Where our defense isn't there. We don't have the midfield to match up with Liverpool's midfield. Everything is predicting a loss. And if everything is predicting a loss, then does that mean it's a loss? Or does that mean something else? Does that mean we already concede and say, you know what? It's going to be 9 points. It's going to be a 9-point gap. Listen, I'm being told to just focus on the UCL. I think we got weaponry to make to cause a problem. I do. Liverpool are vulnerable. The worst teams have gone to Anfield and gotten a result. Is it the style of play that we need to maybe focus on? What were those lesser, quote unquote, lesser teams? How did they approach Liverpool at Anfield to get a result? Can we mirror that in any sense? I'm not doom and gloom right now, but I think there's a way too much saying that it's an automatic loss. Let me discuss this automatic loss, by the way. Let me discuss this, because if it happens to be, let me start it. If it happens to be, all right, 9 points because we lose, because it's currently 6. If we happen to lose, and again, this is assuming, everybody in the chat, this is assuming that Arsenal win versus Sunderland, okay? Arsenal are winning. Arsenal guaranteed 3 points, right? Arsenal guaranteed 3 points. So I'm assuming that they have won, we lose. So that takes it to 9. That takes us to 9. Or maybe we get a draw and then we only gain 1 point, so that takes us to 8. But if it happens to be 9 points, now 13 games left in the season. Is the season over? Are 8 points too much with 13 games left? That's 3 games, right? We need like 3 loss type results, basically. Is 9 points too much? 9 points isn't that much. I mean, we're gonna 9 points, 13 games. I'm going to say it depends on how we lose. Again, it was brought up in the chat. If we're inconsistent, what if it's a madness, right? What if we're playing good football like we just shown, like we just played versus Newcastle. Play it for let's say a full 90 minutes. We play a full game, but it's Anfield. There's madness here, a potential mistake here, but for the most part, we're playing well. If we happen to lose that way, are we looking at the loss the same way? Are we still saying, you know what, City aren't good enough to pose a challenge to Arsenal? I don't know. I don't think so. I think we need to see this game. Obviously, we need to see how we play. I'm not willing to say that it's over after 6 points. I'm still not willing to say it would be over. It happened to be 9 points, but it would have to depend on how we play. And obviously, I'm going to record the Arsenal game. It would have to depend on how consistent, how dominant Arsenal look as well. I'm conflicted here. I'm conflicted. Let me go back to the comments real quick. I see Aziz in the building. Sorry, I missed you earlier. Wesley in the building. We are finished, bro. I'm done. We aren't getting a win. The season is over. Congratulations, Arsenal. Your first title in 22 years. Well deserved, but we'll be back. You say all that and then you say well deserved. You know what? Let me not do the agenda thing right now. I don't want to do the agenda thing. Ketchup, sorry, I missed the ketchup earlier. Baldy slot, do what needs to be done to save the Prem and win. That moment of silence was for that comment. To do what needs to be done to save the Prem. Do you realize what we're watching for you to be talking about saving the Prem? You know when, Ketchum, you know when the said club wins the league, right? There's a like copycat factor. There's a replicate, or there's let's implement this because it led to winning. Take a second, close your eyes, and think of a Prem with other clubs copying what Arsenal did this season. I'm getting sick thinking about it. I'm actually getting sick thinking about multiple teams playing like Arsenal. Yuck. Absolutely yuck. I had trouble sleeping the other night. I'm going to make sure I keep that copy of that Chelsea Arsenal game for a long time. I'm going to make sure we keep that. Ekatike words are the main threads currently. See, I really think the most threatening part is going to be the midfield. Ash, I'm going to tell you, I'm really, my concern, my like, oh damn, I'm like watching intently close to the screen type thing is going to be looking at that midfield. Aziz goes, Vader, we bought 11 new players with the great players leaving, and we're still in all competitions. And I'm hearing Pep out. What kind of fan base is this? What kind of fan base is this? And we won 19 trophies in 9 years. No appreciation. Aziz, surround yourselves with good company is my advice. You can't control the fan base. You're going to have fan types of all kinds. All right? We see that we see that in all fan bases. My advice to you is know when you're having a genuine conversation, genuine debate, and know when you're being trolled, when you're being rage baited, when you're being provoked. Again, unfortunately, I'm going to say this, unfortunately, interactions are engaged more with disliked viewpoints, if that kind of makes sense, right? We have a nice calm convo on here, and I love it. I love the people that come through here on the regular. We're polite. We throw our lines here and there, but we're polite. Know when someone's trying to have the genuine conversation in football convo, and know when they're just trying to get a reaction out of you. I think there's a lot that's being discussed, and I don't blame it. Fan is short for fanatic. There's a lot of emotion out there, and people aren't taking it. Oh, you know what? Actually, I take that back. People are taking into account what happened in the past, but for them, that is the past. What's happening now is going to dictate the future. So that's how they've made their decisions. Writing off the season now. Yeah, I mean, those can wave the white flag. It's all good. No judgment. There's a reason why some keep fighting and some retreat. Who do you think invented the retreat? Who do you think invented waving the white flag? Like, there's going to be people like that. And there's going to be people like, no, we're still fighting here. So it's all good. It's all good. Teal, our midfield is too weak for this high line. Yeah, I would agree with you. It gets bypassed way too quickly, and that puts pressure on our defense. We don't have the players for this high line. Now, I think as we're moving closer to get into the final third and really suffocate the defense of the opposition, or suffocate the 18-yard box, I think what I would like to see is a recognition of letting our attackers do their thing, maybe creating a little more of some defensive midfield that kind of lay back a little bit, but they also don't have the legs. So it's one of those where, like, based off of the personnel that we have now, we do need to change the system. But also when we think of what's going to be the proper balance, I think we go back, and we have to, because if we don't currently have that profile of player, whether it's having the legs, having that engine, having that just endurance for that full 90 minutes, then we're going to have to get some players. Rose, Vader, the writing is on the wall. Man City will be there. But listen, Rose, I'm with you. My gal, I'm with you. And that profile pic of the plant, please let me know the origin there. I'm assuming it's something that you're taking care of yourself. But we're going to be there, despite them not wanting us here. We are going to be there. Our achievement getting to Wembley, I know it was said early in the chat, the fact that we've gone to Wembley so many times, and again, some are trying to now depict City fans as not being the most committed fans, City not being deserving of the attention that it gets from a commercial standpoint. Even they want to question us expanding the stadium. Now, I've got something to address on that, and I'm going to address that on CIA, and I might have to move CIA. Actually, no, we should be good. I'm going to address it on CIA because some are trying to now depict that City sponsorships, City's commercial businesses and dealings, and even the thinking with regards to expanding the stadium is done from a fraudulent standpoint because we don't have fans that are showing up on a Champions League night or not showing up on a midweek League Cup game. I'm going to address all of that. Proper, by the way. I'm going to address that properly. I know I'm falling behind on some of these comments. I see Spartacus in the building. The French invented waving the white flag. That is true, actually. That is very true. And they invented waving the white flag to concede and surrender. Listen, Thunder in the building. Good afternoon, everyone. Hit the thumbs up. Hit that like button. You know what it is. Subscribe if you haven't already. House. That they did, talking about the waving the white flag. Now, the white flag, giving up, some can do it. I get it. You live to fight another day. With regards to the season, surrendering and giving up on the Prem before the fight even really starts, we play Arsenal head to head. We play them. That's 3 points right there. Okay, all right, let me stop. Let me move on to the next topic. Let me move on to the next and last topic here. All right, let's keep it clean. Now, okay. Let me explain this. Let me explain this, okay? Many will say, listen, Vader, all you do is talk copium with regards to the season. How have you not given up on it already? What might be the footballing reasons to why you still think City are in it? I know that we've made life difficult for us with regards to this title race because of our style of play. I get it. Like, in terms of maybe recognizing that we can't be as aggressive. It's been mentioned in the chat already. The high line, we can't be persistent with that because we don't have the personnel for it. I'm posing the question. We won't discuss it, but I'm posing the question so you kind of think about it. What might be the reason to have the high line, or what situation within the game are we having the high line used? Are we doing the high line when we're actually in possession? Are we doing the high line when we quite haven't been able to drop back, when we have quickly lost possession? Let's put that into context a little bit. But we have an approach. We have a certain approach on how we're attacking this league, how we're trying to catch wins, right? I think we've been inconsistent, and we've kind of gifted Arsenal a favorable advantage right now with regard to the 6 points. But I happen to believe, and this is because of the consistency, what we've seen, the 400 wins that Pep has delivered for us, and even, shout out to any Liverpool fan in the chat, even with regards to how the Prem has been won the last 6, 7, 8, 9 years, right? You got to go out and get that thing. You got to go and you got to go and grab it. Like, you got to go and take it. You don't fend it off. You don't prevent from it. You go and get that thing. And I think that, Arteta's Arsenal, they're going to defend their position. They're going to defend, and I think that might invite us in with an opportunity to kind of close the gap and make this a lot more stressful than it needs to be, because Arsenal have been like the opposite of City. They've been so consistent. They've been so sound defensively, and it still hasn't given them that points gap that you would really expect. If we were to go and crunch the numbers and say, you know what, our Arsenal should be this many points ahead of City, right? I think because of their defend nature, Arteta's defensive nature, Arteta's, you know what, we're not making ourselves vulnerable, and if it happens to have to go late, the dependency, the reliance, maybe the overconfidence with regards to what they can achieve set piece wise is where they're at right now. But I think because of Arteta's defensive approach and where that is emphasized more, I think we still have an opportunity here. I think because of our attacking nature, we can make this a really hopefully that's not a work thing. We can make this a really well-challenged league. And I can't give up on this league until after we've played Arsenal. I can't. I can't. And I can't give up on this league until after we played Arsenal, because we play Arsenal first in the League Cup final. And not to do too much. Being a consumer of North American sports, and there's this saying called copycat league, right? If we do get a result in the League Cup, how we set up our approach, how we choose to attack, how we choose to defend, trust me, other clubs, maybe not with the same quality, maybe they wouldn't have the same attacking quality. One would say they would have the same defensive quality. One might even argue that they have close to the same midfield quality. Now you got other clubs that are going to be taking that same approach towards Arsenal. Do they make Arsenal's life so difficult before we even play them? This is where I'm at. Say, I'm a fan. Yeah, I know. Logic out the window, maybe. But that's kind of like how I kind of like look at it. Let me try to catch up with these comments. Let me see. Where are we at? Oh, man. Oh, my gal Rose goes... Actually, before that, hold on. Slice. Holland the ghost, and some delusional people say he's better than Mbappe. Slice, what are we doing here? Let's not attack Holland. He's in poor form right now. You know that Mbappe was getting those similar attacks when he was in poor form. Let's not do this. Those players are good in their own individual ways. Rose, my gap. Vader, Arsenal will drop the major points going forward. I like that, Rose. Hold on, let me give you. I like that. I will not entertain those cowardly comments. Fair. Ash. Come on, Sunderland. Listen, I'm not banking on anything, but let's see what they do. It's not copium, it's realism based on lived experience. House, absolutely. Captain, absolutely. City winning is saving football. Good joke. What are you doing? Catch, how is Arsenal winning saving good for football? I'm just saying. Let's... Actually, no. This is in the show. To play it out, but I got an idea where we discuss both scenarios. Spartacus, the high line works, and it has been working this season. But what we are struggling when opposition goes high and do man-to-man press. If they are decent at it, it can't beat that. Yeah, we can't beat that. It's true. Our movement needs to improve if they are looking to do that, and we need to, more often than not, when it is man-to-man, we need to look at the play after first contact with the ball. We need to look at that. But, yeah, I'm in agreement. Slice. Ash, you have a manager that says, trust the process after every match. Oh, my gosh. Chills. Club going big again in the summer. Do a lot better with a proper team slot / Hughes rebuild project. Y'all, slot got done dirty from the standpoint of, like, his style of play is why I think it was actually, no, I can't even do that because you took some poor losses at Anfield. But a winning manager is hard to come by. It's very difficult to come by. To be like, yeah, you're done. Yeah, it's rough. It is funny. The guy being defensive has the same amount of big chances and 3 less goals. City clearly are playing. Catch them. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. All right. This I'm not gonna geek out and nerd out about big chances or less. Like I'm not doing that because obviously for it to be considered a big chance, a pass needs to be released, a shot needs to take place, goals expected, all that kind of stuff. I'm not doing that. We can watch the game, right? We can watch the game and see what's what. The goals conceded or the goals scored, when we want to talk about even how those goals are being scored, you can see where we're getting at. You can see why there is a difference between. And how are you going to argue? How are you going to argue Arteta's not more defensive? What are we doing here? Spartacus goes, Vader, next CIA, let's look at the momentum bars for the games we lost or drew. It's down to the high line. We should be seeing small drastic spikes. All right. We're going to get into it. I like that. I like the Spartacus gets himself into the numbers, like, a statistician gets into those, and we'll break that all down. I want to also emphasize that from having the convo, I'm looking to do 2 things that I want to kind of change things up. I want to, because again, I am a talker. I think my why always me is great for me to kind of go through the topics and give you guys that one-on-one. All right. I would really appreciate it. Maybe I'll set up kind of like a poll or a community note or something like that. But on which day is kind of like preferred. I also want to, obviously CIA is including City fans. I'm flirting on a rival combo. Those that are comfortable sharing their voice, maybe not, necessarily need to share your face, but sharing your voice. And have more conversations with y'all, because obviously I think there would be a great flow if we were to talk versus sometimes I get to your comments, sometimes I don't. But I ultimately think that we've got such an amazing community. You guys have been amazing, even hitting that like button, being in the comments, supporting me when I'm back to do a show. I also was looking to put this up as a reminder to close out the show. I want to put this up as a reminder. Actually, why isn't it showing? Yeah. I want to put this up as I close out the show. Okay. So, actually, let me also take this off screen. Where's my timer? So I started off this show by saying, listen, Marc Guehi denied eligibility to play in the final because he wasn't signed prior to the first leg of the semifinal. Okay? Accepted the rule. We move on from there. I think the rule is flawed in the sense of you're going to have transfers throughout that window, and if there is in jeopardy of them, again, not having played any portion of the leg, and especially in a case of a final, they should be eligible, but we'll discuss that another time. But all that, and also reminding, we've got the Prem saying that they would like to see different winners every 6 years or so. We've got an actual Prem that for whatever reason were quick to put out the 115, and we still haven't gotten resolution on that. To think that we're not fighting against the Prem would be silly to say. And then when we look at Rodri's comments to being like, one mistake in a season, we kind of get it. Maybe one at the beginning of the season, one later, we kind of get it. But I kid you not, this was happening game after game after game after game. Nothing needs to change. Not asking for any of these, not asking for any apologies, no PGMOL. We're discussing this. You guys are under watch or that. Nah. But I put this up to say, Manchester City fans, Manchester Football Club, it's us against them. We're not going to get those calls. Let's not give them an opportunity to affect our games. Let's handle our business the 90 minutes on the pitch. Let's not put anything up for grabs for them to dictate how our games go. Let's handle it with our style of play, our winning football, our mentality to play from the first kickoff to the final whistle. That's where we need to be at. They don't want us. We know this. They don't want us. Everybody in the chat right now, understand that this is why, and I'm going to continue to say this, this is why I have tremendous love, pride, and belief in this club, because to do what only one other club was able to do in English football, Manchester United were the only club to win the treble, not a treble, Liverpool fans, the treble. Okay? They were the only ones to do it. Now, on their way to pursue to do it, trust me, there was like, oh wow, they're on the verge of doing it. Oh, look at what they're capable of doing. It was more of the, are we about to witness this? This is something fascinating. This is incredible. Versus City's pursuit of said trouble. And when we were in the mix of it, when it was kind of like just about to spark about the potential of this being like the trouble, they hit us with the 115. The 115 hit in the year when we were trying to pursue immortality. We were trying to go and get that trouble. They hit us with the 115. This is why I have tremendous pride in getting that accomplishment with that over our heads. And it was still looming over our heads for the 4-peat. 4 in a row. That's how I'm ending this show. Love to each and every one of you. I see y'all in the comments. My gal, Spartacus, people in the building. I gotta go run off and deal with this work. But I want to say thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for being in the mix. We're going to discuss this again. Trust me. I'm going to read each and every one of your comments. We're going to have the proper show. I hope you enjoyed. And I'm going to go back and edit. It's going to take a while for YouTube to kind of like process things or whatever. But I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back and edit that gap where the Prem got to me and shut me down because they didn't like the truth that I was spitting. Love to each and every one of you. Good looking out. We will talk soon. I'm Vader Games. This is Vader Games TV. Another great episode. Thanks to all of you with regards to Why Always Me, episode 131. All right. Bless, and we'll catch you.